Rob, 24 hours away from Leicester Tigers at home, and there's a real buzz around the place now.
Yeah, there's a buzz, largely from the machinery that's still knocking around trying to finish things off. No, I mean, it looks fantastic. I mean, it's a beautiful day out there. The pitch looks amazing. We've just done our team run now. When you get out on the pitch and you look around, everything's there in place for what should be a fantastic day. And I know there's a few building crew around still adding the finishing touches, but I think we're going to be pretty much there. And I think anyone who turns up tomorrow is going to be in for a fantastic day.
You started so well last week, London Welsh, 7 tries, but I know you were equally impressed with the defensive display. You got a nice little mix, but tomorrow it goes again.
Yeah, well, I think a big indicator of attitude is your defence, and I think that's where you start. That has to be a foundation for you, and that gives you a foundation to hopefully do well in games of rugby. Now, obviously, we know there's a bigger test tomorrow, but it isn't about that. You know, every test in the Premiership is a big one. Every test in the Premiership is something you look forward to. You know, I say repeatedly, we work very hard to get here, and we've got to treasure every game, particularly games at home, and particularly games like this, which are the kind of start of something a little different and a little new. So, players look excited, which is nice. We haven't done too much to try and bring them down to earth, because I want them to be excited about it today. I think if there was any mistake we made last year was that there were the games in the Premiership, or maybe a period of the Premiership, that became a little bit of hard work for us. No, that's not the way I want it to be. I want us to be excited and enthused by every game in the Premiership. You know, as I said, it's a precious thing for us to be here, and I want us to approach every game in that manner.
In terms of it, you've said one of the things that really impressed you was when you're 50 points up, you're still defending like that in the last few moments. That was, shows the character of the boys already.
That's right, and I think that's a little bit their mindset they're in at the minute. I think they've been really enjoyed pre-season. They've been really excited about the way they've seen things go. Obviously, we've moved back in here over the last 2 weeks, and they're excited about seeing the developments taking place, and the way the facility is going to help them. You know, better, bigger gym. Better medical facilities, better team room, better video analysis. Everything we're trying to put in place is to help them try and move forward. And at the moment, they're not very excited about it. But the proof of the pudding is always in the eating. And what we have to do is put in a performance that brings a home crowd, gets a home crowd behind us, and creates a fantastic atmosphere for the whole day.
No changes to the starting lineup. Probably after a 50 point, it's hard to go into a player and say you dropped for a reason like that.
Yeah, I mean, we could have tinkered with 1 or 2 positions, but I think in the end we decided that those guys have gone well together. We always like to say to players, if you play well and merit selection, we'll look to stick with you. But at the same time, we had some other good performances from players who they played very well in pre-season, and probably a little unfortunate to miss out the first game through little bumps or bangs or niggles. I mean, London Welsh, as an example, has come back onto the bench having had a very, very good pre-season. And as I say, other than having a bang on the head at Worcester, probably would have started. But Ryan Colwell stepped in and had a very good game, and so he's maintained his place. So we decided not to tinker too much. Having said that, we do feel we've got some strength in depth in various positions in the squad, and I think over the 6 weeks, almost regardless of results, we will look to involve guys, because we've stated already what our aim to be is very competitive throughout the whole Premiership season, and to do that we want to stick a fresh and fit team on the pitch every week. But as I said, at the moment those start 15 guys are fresh and fit, and they're getting the start.
Injury wise, you're also looking a little bit better now. Novelty coming back to full fitness, and a few others very close as well. Yeah,
well, I mean, Monday night in some ways is going to be a very exciting game. Almost exciting as this game in a way, because Jack Noel should feature, Fetu Vanakola should feature, Tom James should feature. It's probably a little bit early for Phil Dolman, but you are going to start seeing some guys slowly filter back over the next few weeks, which is obviously fantastic for our strength and depth. I suppose especially for Jack, because he didn't play a lot of Premiership rugby for us last year with the kind of injury issues he started the season with. Then obviously had a fantastic time away with England in the Six Nations, and was unfortunate to pick up an injury early when he came back. So great news for him. He looks as fit and strong and sharp as I've ever seen him. Obviously, game time will be a little bit different, but it'd be great to see him on Monday as well.
A lot of new boys that you brought in, and 5 of them will start again their first home debut tomorrow. You've really impressed with how they've settled in, and also people like Jack Arnott stepping up last week.
Yeah, well, I think this is the thing. It's interesting how a lot of people said last week that we thrived on going in with a settled side, and yet there was a large number of the pack who hadn't played together in a Premiership game. But I think what's happened is they've fitted in seamlessly through pre-season. They've worked hard. They bought into the work ethic of everybody. They've become popular among the squad. They're good guys, and that makes everything a little bit easier. Obviously, we're still unsure about how strong we really are. I think everyone's aware that last week, in some ways, although we're very pleased with our performance and the things we did and the attitude we showed, we're still unsure of how well London Welsh had gelled together. So the real marker of where we stand will be over the next 2 or 3 weeks. We're aware of that, but at the same time, we've got 5 points on the board, and we've had a solid start, to that first round, because we're in the right half of the table, and that's the key for us. We want to be in the right half of the table, and the gathering of points over the course of the full season is going to be very important to us.
Finally, Leicester last year was a tough away game, but generally over the years, real hard battles with them, and we've come out on top on a few occasions.
Yeah, I've always thought that our games against Leicester have been great games. As you say, the going up there the week after winning the LV Cup final was probably our worst performance against them in some ways now, for obvious reasons looking back. And I think Leicester are a good side. They've got a great tradition. Because of that, we respect them, and we always say the way you respect the opposition is you go after them as hard as you can. That's how you show respect. And I think we've always done that, and sometimes that's meant we've come out on top in some tight games, and sometimes we've come out the wrong side in tight games. But that good Premiership games can be like that. What's important for us is to make sure we fire some shots and aim to make as much of the game about it as we can. Leicester will do the same, and probably whoever gets their game plan into the game for the most minutes is the team that's going to come on top.